Welcome, fellow seekers of peace and wisdom, to our channel. Have you ever felt like your life is a trek through the harshest parts of the Australian outback? There are moments when you feel you've given your absolute best, yet all you receive is a barren patch filled with rocks blocking your path, while everyone else seems to have lush green pastures. Have you ever stood under the vast, glittering canopy of the Milky Way, looked up at the Southern Cross, and asked, "Why me? Why does hardship keep following me like a shadow, comma?" Today, I am going to share a story that isn't just about survival. It is about a grand secret the universe hides within our obstacles. This is the story of Davey, a young farmer in the Australian heartland who learned that sometimes, the greatest curse is actually the most brilliant blessing we've ever received. But before we journey deep into the rugged ranges, I have a small, intellectual favor to ask. You see, the YouTube algorithm is much like searching for underground water in a parched land. It needs signals. If you feel your soul needs a bit of moisture for your faith, please hit that subscribe button below. Subscribing doesn't just motivate us. It is your way of telling the universe, I am ready to receive the most valuable lessons. Let's turn that red button to a gentle gray, as peaceful as a sleeping koala, so we can walk this path of wisdom together. Thank you, wise traveler. Once upon a time, in a small valley nestled against the majestic blue mountains of Australia, lived a young man named Davey. Davey was a kind-hearted soul with calloused hands and a heart that yearned to prove its worth. When his father passed away, he left Davey a small piece of land. But alas, while his neighbors, blokes like Bruce and Angus, owned flat, fertile plains perfect for grazing merino sheep, Davey's land was a chaotic mess of stones. There were big rocks, small rocks, sharp rocks, and round ones. They were scattered everywhere, as if a giant had emptied a massive sack of gravel onto his plot. The locals would gather at the regional pub, clinking cold glasses of beer while mocking him, poor Davey. His old man left him a quarry, not a farm. The only thing he'll grow there is disappointment. Davey felt a deep bitterness. He would often stand among the gum trees, looking at the wide sky, shouting, "Why, God? Why did you give me this cursed land? Why is everyone else blessed except me?" Every day he tried to farm, but the rocks made it impossible. His plow would snap, and his seeds couldn't find a place to take root. Then came the big dry, the most terrible drought in the region's history. For months, not a single drop of rain fell. The sun became a ball of fire, scorching everything in sight. The lush green fields of Bruce and Angus began to crack like a broken map. The sheep grew weak, and everyone's wells began to run dry. While the other farmers watched their crops die in despair, Davey went out to his field with a heavy heart. But then, he noticed something strange. Between the dry, hot rocks, tiny drops of water were appearing. He realized that the rocks he had hated for so long were acting as silent guardians. They shielded the thin layer of soil from the burning sun, preventing the precious moisture from evaporating. Davey began to dig carefully between the stones. He couldn't believe his eyes. The soil beneath was still damp and alive. He immediately planted his last seeds in those small, protected spaces. He tended to them with the little water he found, while the rocks acted like a suit of armor, protecting the tender green sprouts from the harsh Australian heat. As the weeks passed, an impossible sight emerged. While the rest of the valley turned into a dusty desert, small green plants began to flourish between the rocks on Davey's land. When harvest time came, Davey was the only one in the village with a successful crop. People flocked to see this miracle in the desert. Bruce, scratching his head, asked, "G'day, Davey. How on earth did you manage this? Your land was the worst in the region." Davey looked at his rocky field, his eyes filling with tears, and replied, "I spent years hating these rocks. I thought I was cursed. But the Creator knew the drought was coming. He knew I would need these rocks to survive. What I thought was a curse was actually my salvation. An elder named Jack, known for being as wise as an outback sage, stepped forward and placed a hand on Davy's shoulder. "My son, you have learned a lesson more valuable than gold. God gives everyone exactly what they need, not what they want." Davy didn't keep the harvest for himself. He shared his food with the neighbors who had once pitied him. From that day forward, whenever someone complained about their burdens, Davy would lead them to his rocky field and say, "See these rocks? Don't curse them. They might be protecting you from a drought you cannot see yet, comma." My friends, Davy's story is not just about a farmer in the Australian bush. It is the story of your life and mine. What do you see when you look at your life today? Do you see only rocks? Are they troubles at work, heartbreaks, or failures that make you want to give up? Perhaps you are asking, why is my life so rocky while others have it so easy? But remember this, your struggles are not accidents, and they are not punishments. They are preparations. You might be being taught patience for future blessings, or being protected from a disaster you cannot see yet. Do not compare your land to others. The universe gives smooth soil to some and rocky soil to others, both are blessings, just in different forms. The truth is, the plan is perfect, even when it makes no sense to us in the moment. So, do not abandon your rocky land. Trust the process and trust the plan. One day, when your harvest finally comes, you will look back at those obstacles and thank God for every single one of them, because those rocks were protecting you all along. If this story spoke to your heart today, please leave a comment below saying, "I trust the plan," or share the rocks you are currently facing. Don't forget to like and share this video to plant seeds of hope for someone else who might be struggling. And once again, if you want to keep receiving these doses of spiritual wisdom, hit that subscribe button. Do it with a smile, knowing that every time you clear a mental rock, you are making room for your future harvest. Thank you for watching. May you find strength among the stones and keep your faith as steady as the blue mountains. Stay blessed.